Graphically great, sonically amazing, love is poured into each character. Overall, I am in love with Bleach Rebirth of Souls, and it's great to see that years after radio silence, the last franchise within the original Big Three has made its resurgence. For several years, the closest thing I had to getting a whiff of Ichigo's garment was Jump Force, and that was because Brave Souls refused to work on my PC. That aside, if you've been in the anime game community long enough, you know about the trend with games where something looks amazing, the game releases, and then a month or even weeks after, people fall off of the game. Now, while I truly want to believe Rebirth of Souls will not head down this path, especially because of how passionate the Bleach community is, I just want to temporarily take off the rose-tinted glasses and voice a few things that genuinely concern me regarding Bleach Rebirth of Souls, now that I'm more familiar and understand the game more. This video shouldn't be too long, but it'll be divided into 3 portions, which are the gameplay / mechanics, the online, and miscellaneous, which is just some random concerns I have. So starting with the gameplay, my biggest concern revolves around the combo potential of the game. There are special moves, visible stuns, and attack extensions through flash steps. My issue is that I don't think I've seen much variety in the way we can go about this. Throughout a lot of the gameplay, I see a repetition of 1 or 2 auto strings a character has been given, which is then followed up with a flash step, and then it's continued using the same string or a special attack or strike back. And what I'm trying to say is that it seems very routine, like a very predictable pattern. You see comments and hear around the community that, oh, this game's gonna have a ton of mixes and combo variety. And I do want to believe that, but when looking at the gameplay myself, it's a bit of a struggle to see what they mean by that. The characters themselves have unique traits, there is no denying that. The animations are different from one another, sure, but it's hard to say something like that for the combo system itself. There is variety, it just seems quite limited. Benefit of the doubt, I guess we do have to keep in mind that the people playing this game are also new to it and they aren't the best, so maybe there is much more to it. But there's also a chance that there isn't much more to it, and that's what concerns me. I have no doubt in my mind that the gameplay is going to be fun, it's going to be amazing, but how long it will be fun for sort of depends on the level of depth within it. It looks like it can be fast paced, the dodging is awesome, I just hope the offensive portion of the game delivers too. Anyways, that's really my only concern I have about the gameplay, so let's move on. Also, if you disagree, feel free to comment why. Next is about the online. I really want to know what modes there are because it weirdly hasn't been elaborated upon. Literally, it's just one line and a screenshot of gameplay that isn't even from the online mode itself. What we can surely expect are the staples such as casual and ranked mode, but will there be more? Will there be modes like Tournament, King of the Hill? More importantly, will we have the ability to spectate other people's matches? The game information states that it'll be a maximum of 2 players, but that doesn't mean much outside of the gameplay itself. For example, when Naruto Storm 3 released, it specified that it could host up to 8 players. And we know in the gameplay itself it could only be 2 people, but it specified this because of the tournament mode and endless mode it has. For whatever reason, anime games don't specify things like this anymore. The only reason this concerns me is because for a game to have great longevity, it needs a strong community. And for it to have a strong community, it needs community enabling features or modes like the ones I mentioned earlier on. I would really prefer not to see another Storm Connection situation where the game was missing a good portion of online features for a few months. Granted, this is the first installment of the game, but we're in big 2025 and I'd really hope Bandai and the developers they work with have learned from the mistakes that happened with other games. I know there will be people creating their own tournaments outside of the game. It'll always be great to have one you can access without all the extra work of signing up and whatnot. The next thing I'm concerned about intertwines between the gameplay and online. As we know, Rebirth of Souls will be releasing on older generators like PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Who the fuck asked for that? And because of hardware limitations, the game will be running at 30 FPS for them. My concern is about how this situation is going to be handled regarding online. We saw the situation with Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles where the online battles of the game were pretty much limited to 30 FPS for everybody, including PS5, just to accommodate the older gens, which nobody freaking liked. Storm Connections had a feature that allowed you to filter between 30 FPS and 60 FPS players, and I hope that would be the case for Rebirth of Souls, but I still feel the need to be concerned about this because I am a traumatized anime game fan. You expect something to go one way, but then it goes in a completely opposite direction. Sparking Zero completely eradicated this issue by simply not releasing their game on previous generations, but I'm all for the inclusion with Bleach. Let's just hope it doesn't backfire. My next concern would be regarding the netcode. I'm going to be honest guys, I'm already expecting the online connections to be subpar like every other anime game. There is no hope. Now we can finally move on to the miscellaneous concerns, which again are just random things that bug me a little bit. My first one is about the HUD. It is a lot on the screen. I mentioned in one of my videos a few months back about how I felt it clogged up the screen, and now that I'm more familiar with the gameplay and how everything works, I still feel the same way. It does look good from an aesthetic standpoint, but I think the health bars are just unnecessarily taking up the entire top part of the screen, and the lack of transparency in it makes things even worse. The size of the reverse meter also feels quite intrusive. I don't mind the gauge itself, but if it could just be scaled down a teeny weeny bit, that would be great. Rebirth of Souls has a HUD similar to something like Street Fighter 6, but the problem is I don't think it works as well on a game that is played on a 3D plane. The camera moves around a lot more, there's a lot more particles, it just becomes distracting at some point. With the game so close to release, I doubt any more changes will be coming to the HUD, so this kind of gives me more of an incentive to play this game on PC, just because I know there will be mods that will definitely reduce the size of the HUD. And finally, my last concern is a very minor one, and it's about the stage transitions. Tamsoft, could you guys please add some sort of animation between the stage changes, because right now a black screen sort of just disrupts the immersion and it lessens the enjoyment of actually transitioning to another area. There's not much energy around it, and I feel like it could do with something much better. With that being said, those are all the current concerns I have with Bleach Rebirth of Souls. The game's coming out soon, so some of these will be answered, but I like voicing my opinions sometimes. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree with what I said, or even if you have any concerns of your own. Feel free to type it in the comment section. For now, I shall ride off into the sunset with Tamsoft.